All right. Well, I tried to get on live stream on Restream with Chris and B, and they took me on a wild goose chase. So hopefully they'll find me over here because I couldn't find them where they were at. I done lost one good fish. Let me get baited up again and get these rods out here. Oh, let's see here. Damn it. Give me a second here. You know what there. There. Hopefully Chris and B find me here in just a little bit. I need to pin that to the top. I don't know if I can while I'm live though. All right, I gotta get some rod baited up, man. I've done lost one fish and screwed around trying to get on that daggone restream crap. Oh, okay. I'm gonna go on. Believe it or not, I got some saltwater shad. I can't see jack crap out here. It's insane. Oh, yeah. Why didn't I bring my headlamp? Not good. Let me find a hole to stick this in. Right there looks pretty good. Let's see if that'll work. That'll work there. Oh, that's where I had my other rod at. Dadgummit, I can't put that there. You got to move. Hopefully that'll hold. Because I want to put this rod there. I'm stumbling around in the dark. It's aggravating and frustrating. I'm not kidding you. Just trying to get it together. This absolutely was not part of my plan tonight. I was just simply going to, oh God. I simply was going to come there and throw out some rods and shoot video footage. That's all in the world I was going to do. Where'd that hole go? I think that's it right there. Hang on. Kind of go back on cast net. Don't mess it up. Break a hole right here, right there. There it is. All right. Let's throw this mullet out there. The mullet. Throw it as far as I can to get away from the freaking rocks. But then, of course, you gotta, where'd I have that at? I don't see it right there. I don't know. But it's got lines in the water anyway. Heck with it. Right there's a rod that just missed that fish, or just lost it. Got it right to the bank and lost it. Now let's see what's going on over here. Ugh. Frustrating. Let me try putting this up there again. Come on now. What did you do? I keep stepping on my tripod. All right, let's see what we got going on here. I got them 3 rods in there. It'll be all right. Fishing the Mid-South. What's going up? You know, 1 catfish dog number 2. I dropped the leak in there. Watch the basement. See if anybody comes up. We shall see. We shall see. It's funny. No one cared about Restream until StreamYard got greedy. I cannot stand Restream. I freaking hate Restream. You know, I know. They go, oh, you got to be stupid. Everybody else figures it out. Well, good for you. I just don't like the way it's set up. I don't like the way the video layout is on it. I don't like how hard it is to send the link. I don't like nothing about it. Don't care for it. And you can love it all you want. And I'll still love you right back. But I'm still going to hate Restream. Can't stand Restream. There's Bugman. Hey, where are you at there? So I am back on the Mississippi River. We're trying something a little different tonight. I brought back a whole saltwater. I threw the cast net and I got some saltwater baits. I've got mullet, saltwater bait mullet. I've got some menhaden and ladyfish. Got along, Wallback Snake. Let's see here. Who else do I miss? Keep me on. Okay, 18 people watching. Yeah, I was trying to go up on the live with Restream with Chris and V, and they just about out of bait. But I have a rod set out, and that middle one right there. I mean, he slammed it, and they was trying to get me up on her, so I just let it go, and he was pulling. I'm like, I cannot wait much longer. I got to get in there, and I tried to get in there. I couldn't get in there. And finally, I said, screw it. I turned that off and I turned the video camera on and I went over there and that fish was on the rocks and I screwed around with him and finally got him out of the rocks and got him right up to the bank and stopped the hook. But I got video of that fish fighting and everything, so you know I'm not bull crapping it. If I don't got it on video, I'm not going to tell you about it because I can be able to prove what I'm saying. But I do got video, and it's going. I want to put that video out and say, Chris and B cost me a catfish. I saw him though, he wasn't very big. He's probably about 10 pounds. He felt bigger whenever he was fighting, but yeah, when I got him up to the bank there, he spun around and, well, he'd been on the hook for so long and down there wrapped around that rock that he'd just ripped his jaw all to pieces. So by the time I did get him out of the rocks and was reeling him in, it didn't take a whole lot of effort for him to spit that hook. But I do got it on video, and I will get it posted. So there you go. Now I got the proof. I'll show you. I just let him hang on the hook too long down there, wrapped around a rock, tugging and pulling and ripping his own face off. So by the time I got him out of the rock to reel him in, there was a big old hole in his face, and that hook was just hanging in it. And all it took was him to turn the right way and flip his tail, and he spit that hook and he took off. I want to keep dropping this link because Chris and B, I'm waiting on John Cyclone to tell him Danny Stone ain't going live on Restream. He's over there on YouTube. What is it called? StreamYard. Yeah. And I'll just keep dropping the dang link until they figure it out and show up. If somebody wants to hop over on Chris and B's and tell them, because they told me, said, Danny, go live and we'll jump over there. If they're still live, go tell them I'm over here waiting on them. Or they can stay live. We'll do both shows. I don't care. We'll double down on them. We'll have the Chris and B show and the DSO. The Chris and B show with the DSO on the side. Don't matter to me. I'm Jeep. So you're basically saying that fish got really stoned, then made a run for it. Absolutely. And if I would have jumped over and grabbed that rod as soon as that fish hit it, 100% I would have got it in. But I let him stay on the rod, and hoping that I would get they were putting out the link. I tried to get in there and tried to get her. The link wouldn't let me come in. And after doing that for like 3 minutes, I finally just went over there and tried to reel him in. He was wrapped up. I put it back in the rod holder. I reeled another rod up. And when I did, it crossed that line and pulled it loose. And then he took off again. And I got him loose and then got him to the bank and lost him. It's all on video. I'm going to show you. I know y'all sit there saying, boo crap, boo crap. I got it on video. I got it on video. And I'm going to tell it, Chris and B cost me a fish. But I ain't too worried. It's just, I'm serious. He came to the top right there at the edge of the water, and I saw him. He wasn't that big, maybe 10 pounds. Yeah, Restream freaking hates me. And I guess what? I hate it right back. So we have a mutual relationship. Let me drop that link again. There it is. This should be it. Let me get that real rod in there. Now you watch. I'm going to catch another fish the rest of the night now. But I am throwing some freaky baits, man. I've got the... Let's see if I can find one of these daggone things. There you go. I got a bunch of these mullet. Right there. That's saltwater fish. See how goofy he looks? Trying to get the glare off of it. I got a bunch of those, and I got some ladyfish. Where's that ladyfish at? I got one in here, or is that in the other bag? There's one. Dude, that was kind of squishy. There's a ladyfish right there. Kind of weird looking. All out saltwater. Just caught these yesterday. Packed them on ice and brought them home. In the basement, I see you. Driving me absolutely insane. That gummit, man, I tell you what. I hate that freaking string yarn. Or, what is it? Restream. Y'all there? I see you. Oh. I can't hear you.
Yep.
Now I hear you.
All right. Oh,
I can hear you.
All right. So I need to turn the camera or anything.
Man, I got mine straight up and down because if I don't, I can't see chat. You turn your sideways and get a better view if you want.
We'll try it. We'll give it a shot.
The only reason I put mine straight up and down is because I see chat better that way. I don't give a crap about that more views stuff. Because my friends come and see me, and that's all I care about.
There you go.
We have his phone and my phone, so it makes it easier.
Yeah, we read the chat on one phone. And
well, all you got to do is yell fish on, and I can tap on you and make you full screen. I don't have to worry about all that crazy other crap that they do.
Man, it has slowed down, brother. We were on fire earlier.
Dude, I've been watching the whole time. I mean, the whole freaking time. But
well, when I went to send you that link, the battery died. You know, newbies doing live stuff.
Didn't have battery hooked
We
up?
didn't have her phone plugged in, so it died. Well, I was going to plug it in, and she had a fish just double that rod over and ran her into some, well, we found out there's a concrete culvert or something down, a big old foundation, something just behind the boat here. So she had two fish run her into that and break it off on that concrete. But I'm going to scan when we leave here, I'm going to do a circle around it, scan it, and really pin that down on the graph and try and avoid it from now on.
That makes what happened to me even so much sweeter. Because I'm going to put out a video. Because the whole time I was trying to get it in y'all guys' live stream, I had a fish on. I mean, the rod was going freaking nuts. And I was sitting there going, oh my God, get me in there, get me in there. And I just let him go. And he got wrapped up in the rocks. And long story short, I got it all on video and I'm going to put it out. And that video is going to be titled, Chris and B cost me a fish.
Oh my God.
It won't be the last
But
time, Danny.
at the same time that was happening to you, the exact same thing was happening to me, and I got it on video because I just said screw it. I left the live stream and turned the camera on and rolled it. You'll see what happened. But when you watch what happened, you're gonna say, "Oh my God, that's what was happening to us the very exact moment."
Oh, listen, I'm not gonna lie. As soon as I picked up that rod, I went, "Oh shit, he's a biggin."
Yeah. Well, mine wasn't. I finally got him out of rocks, and when I got him right to the bank, he'd been down there hung up for so long, he'd ripped half his face off. I'm gonna guess him about 9, 10 pounds probably. But I got him right up to the bank, and I'm like, screw it. And he got off on me. Dalton Lee, I'm over at Dawson Point. I'm back home from Mississippi off the Gulf of America. Over here in New Madrid. I'm back on the river. Okay. Uncle Jake, by the way, thanks for all the videos from your Alabama vacation. It's nice seeing a new place that was most likely never going to visit in their lifetime. It was fun. I like Mississippi. It's not Florida. Here's the thing. If I knew what I was doing in Mississippi, I would have probably caught a lot more fish. I'm a little more knowledgeable about the Florida area and how to fish it and what to do, and so I generally do better down there. But I can figure Mississippi out after a couple trips, probably. There's H. Lee Osborne in the house. What's going on? Welcome in. Jerry Hager fishing and pirate coating. Good evening, brother. And there's my buddy Dalton Lee. Yeah, I'm over at Dawson Point. Go ahead.
We had an absolute blast watching you down there on the Gulf.
Your grandkids
Man, I
were
tell you,
so adorable.
They are
on camera.
See you real soon. The first night y'all did to see you real soon at the end of the live. Yeah. So that just warms the heart right there because that was perfect.
Well, we are a pretty tight family.
I love it.
But yeah, them kids are real sweet on camera, but yeah. Oh, we're getting hit on that.
She's a pistol. 100% tell she's a pistol.
Oh my God, she loves to argue and debate too. She just has a blast with Andrew. I'm telling you.
Look at me, Danny. She's your future, just so you know.
Oh God, that's what I told her. I said every time I come on, I said, you know what, you're acting a lot like me. And that could either be a really good thing or a really big freaking problem.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Yeah, I'm fishing the spot that I'm in right now. There's a bunch of down trees laying right in the water too, and it's right over a big revetment pile. So if there's anything out there to get hung up in, this is the spot.
Yeah, that's where we're at.
This is about the nastiest spot we've fished on this reservoir, just because everywhere in this cove is down trees and logs. And well, now I know it's either an old foundation or culvert down there.
Well, I can go back
where they were at this time of year. Found it.
Oh, absolutely. The fish are stacked in here, right in this spot here. But I can go back and show you videos of this particular spot back when we were having the drought. And you'll see big giant concrete slabs sticking straight up with rebar sticking out of them. And right now it's all underwater and I'm throwing right on top of that.
Yep.
So
I was told by Ray, he said if you want to catch the big ones, you're gonna lose some you're gonna lose some
you're gonna lose a lot of rigs. The good thing about it is though, this spot that I'm at right now is kind of hidden from the general public, and I lose as much as I want here, and the next time we have a drought, I come back down here and pick it all back up. I've come down here during the drought and gotten back probably 60 to 70% of my rigs.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I didn't bring any regular baits with me. This is all saltwater fish that I caught yesterday. So I'm hoping that one fish that I got into just a little while ago wasn't just like a freak of nature or something. And I'm hoping they like this saltwater stuff. I don't know. I know it smells a lot stronger than the freshwater stuff does.
Yeah. Danny, we're probably going to fish till about midnight our time and then head to the house. And
Okay.
because we planned on grabbing enough bait today for tomorrow too, and got the bait tank all fired up. And
That did not happen.
yeah, it did not happen. Tough day.
Well, I got plenty,
But
plenty of bait. I just got to hope that the fish wants to eat what I brought them. Hey, there's Spiron in the house. What's up, Captain Spiron? We're watching.
Hi, Byron.
I don't see
Where are you
them.
catching mosquitoes? Yeah. Oh, I'm slapping the crap out of mosquitoes. They're swarming me bad. Yeah, I'm not
Yeah,
staying
we
out
don't.
late tonight anyway because I'll most likely try to get the stand day. I'm always late for stand day, but then I have to do my
Well,
show
hell,
during the
Stan's
hottest
late
part
for
of the
stand
day.
day.
Huh?
Stan's always late for stand day. Ain't no sense in being on
Yeah,
time.
I know it. That's what I used to be there and wait on him. Now, he can be 5 minutes late. I can be 30. But yeah, I won't stay out late tonight because of the fact that I'll try to do at least half a stand day tomorrow, and then I got to fish the hottest part of the day tomorrow. Uh,
Yeah, I don't know if
Still
we're
planning on doing
joining
my
you.
show. Don't even worry about it, man. I would expect nobody to suffer through what I'm going to do tomorrow.
94 degrees here tomorrow. No way.
Yep, with a heat index of like 100 something. But I'm going to be out here in it and do what I can with it. And I'm going to take the bullet for everybody else. You guys, if you want to go out and fish, fine. If you don't, uh, I'll fill that time slot up and keep it going.
You know we'll be in there watching you though.
They're
Oh, I
supporting from the
absolutely know
AC at
that.
home.
Let's see. Up the Jeep, a sunburn or a burn from playing with too many sparklers last night while enjoying a mass party of adult beverages. I imagine you probably got both, sunburn from the sun and a sparkler. And oh my God, Uncle Jeep had Coda so fired up, uh, messing with her on the second day that when we were shark fishing. Yeah, Uncle Jeep was really screwing with Coda, boy. She was just like giving it right back to him.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, but Brantley he was like, I'm on Uncle Jeep's side. See, Brantley knows he knows when Coda's losing and he'll go to the other side real quick.
That's siblings.
Yep. Mike Lockhart, Danny had to use my old Army Grand last night. Wait a minute. My old Army Grande last night, which the pin fell out of it. Oh, Garand. He's trying to say Army Garand, which is a 30-06 automatic rifle. He said Grande. I said that's a Garand. Lost last night. The pin fell out of it and caught the fire work table on fire. Well, sounds like something I'd do.
That's
If
making
you ain't
memories.
setting something on, yeah, if you ain't setting something on fire on 4th of July, you're doing it wrong. Well, I got a ton of slack on that rod right there. It just dropped slack. I don't know if the current's shifting. I'm in a what we call a reverse current eddy, and it'll go one way 1 minute, and go another way the next. What scares me is when that slack drops, is that they usually are heading for a freaking rock every time. So I'm gonna keep an eye on that rod right there. That one's the one we're gonna concentrate on. That one, the J and S. Line's going tight. There are some monster catfish in this particular hole I'm on right now. But you hook up on, you've got maybe a 40% chance of getting them in. It's tough. Now, from a boat, your odds go up to about 70 or 80.
For the next part or early part of the day, it'll be a good thing.
Good place for heavy fish. Yeah, like you said, they do shade.
Mm-hmm. I want to fish it anyway because they're here, and I know they are. I watched it twice. That one gets in the rain.
Oh, man, that took it down. You might have a fish on there. You may have a
I'm gonna
fish
go ahead
on
and put you
there.
on. I'm gonna go ahead and solo you out. Go ahead.
That was a heck of a takedown. How close are we,
Oh yeah,
David?
we got a good picture there. You're on solo screen. We can see it all. And yeah, get it, get it, get
Trying
it.
to give you my instructor. Hold on. Oh no.
Are you in it again?
Oh come on.
You're living my nightmare right now. You're living my nightmare.
It's pulling it. It went right in.
That's another one in that same.
Drop some slack to him and see if he'll take the slack. That's how I got the one out that I caught a while ago. I didn't get him all the way in, but I got him out of them rocks. Just drop a little slack and kind of hold it and see if he takes that slack.
He's still there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let him up.
You gonna try to move over him?
Yeah, we're gonna try it again. We tried this earlier.
Dude, if you got a boat, that's the best option.
Cool. We're gonna give it a shot.
Yeah, see if you can move over to above him or on the other side of him and pull him out of there. Michael Lockhart, Danny, I got to get ready for bed now because got to get up early for church in the morning. Okay, Mike, have a good night, brother. I probably need to disconnect these hearing aids. Y'all can probably hear that every time I scratch my head or thump my ear. I'm slapping these bugs inside my head and it's hitting my hearing aid. So if you hear a thumping noise, that's what that is. It's me slapping bugs on the side of my head.
It's like some kind of Groundhog Day nightmare. This is the third fish that's ran into that same hole.
I'm going to be going through the same thing here. If I get on another fish, I promise you, it's going to be a nightmare. And even with the breakaway rigs I'm using, it breaks the weight off, and I'm using float rigs to keep the bait up out of the rocks. When the current shifts back and forth in this eddy, it'll still wrap my line around the rocks and the rebar underneath the water. So even with all that said, you still wind up getting caught up in it. Oh man, he dropped the slack all the way to the bank. I'm going to go and tighten that up.
All right. Cool. I'm gonna have to take it around the boat again. And then how we're anchored is I've got some 1-inch galvanized pipe because we're only in about 4 feet of water right here. And I
Yeah.
made some the hillbilly anchors here.
Dude,
So
all
then
my
I just
life, I've never had a commercially made anchor. It's always been a cinder block or a. You ever see those steel plates that lay along the side of a railroad track, the square ones? Yeah, I'd stack
yes,
about
sir.
3 or 4 of them together and tie them together and use those. Now, even though those are scrap metal that they're throwing away, I didn't find out until years later it's illegal to take them off the tracks.
We had an old track where some property we used to deer hunt. and they were taking the whole track out, and they had miles and miles of track stacked there, and all the plates and everything. Yeah, it all ended up scrapyard. All right, we're gonna
Yeah,
try to.
the reason around here, Pacific Railway, whatever, they passed a deal right here where you couldn't take those to the scrapyard because there's people going out there stealing the ones that they were putting in there were new.
Over this one once we get going that way. We're going to try and go to the back side of it and see if we can pull them out, go past it.
Pulling that way.
Yeah, that's where I'm going, babe. Yeah,
Yep,
last
you just
time I
got to
got
kind
up
of watch the line
right
and
on
see
top
which
of it.
direction it's pulling.
Yeah.
Dang cherries are in season and a sale out here in Arizona, $1.99 a pound. Are you kidding me? I love them dang cherries. They're pretty good. Uncle Jeep, I thought Dave Stone would be more the John Wayne approach: diesel fuel, black powder, and horse crap mixed into a paste. Oh, you talking about to get rid of the bugs? I've always heard that sheep dung was good for keeping mosquitoes off of you.
Oh, we're past it?
Yep, old man told me one time if you rub sheep dung all over you, it'll keep the bugs off. And plus, anybody that tries to fish beside you, they don't stick around very long. They usually catch wind of you and they leave. It's almost like trying to pick a lock. You gotta work back and forth until you figure out where the line's going around what rock or whatever you're picking a lock underwater to try to figure out how to get that line off of there.
We're past it. You can't get it out that way.
Well, them flatheads and them blues, man, if there's like concrete slabs under there with holes in them, they're gonna run in there every time because that's where they usually nest anyway when they're spawning. And especially this time of year, they know exactly where them holes are. And when they get hooked and they get scared, they run for them. Wabash snake, never heard that. Oh yeah. Oh, if you look up in the, if you ever seen any of them old Foxfire books that tells you old pioneer remedies and stuff, I'm pretty sure it's in there too. About rubbing sheep dung on you. Of course, that book also tells you if you get an ear infection to put maggots in your ear, because they'll only eat the infection. They won't eat living flesh. I'm not gonna do it, but you know that's how the pioneers used to get rid of ear infections. They put maggots in their ear. I can't stand a fly to get in my ear and be buzzing around. I sure don't want his baby crawling around in there.
Can we go that? No.
Can you still feel him on there, Benny?
No.
He may have wrapped you around something 4 or 5 times where he's got leverage on it.
Yeah, we went past concrete.
How deep's that water? Hell, I Chris jump off in there and untangle it. It's only 4 foot deep.
The water's about 7 or 8 feet deep, but the top of this concrete thing's not that deep.
Yeah, you don't need to get off there. Be a piece of rebar or something sticking down there. You dive off in there and it go right through your stomach and come out your back.
Right here.
This way with it. Right over my head. I mean, so until the line is going straight up and down, we'll just keep pulling.
All these bugs are just god awful tonight. Huh.
I could feel them. I'd try and grab them. It's only like 2 feet down to the top of that concrete.
Just don't fall over the side.
Oh, I'm about to put eyes on whatever it is. I think.
It's a snapping turtle.
Yeah.
like, that's a snapping turtle. Just go ahead and cut the line. No, he wants that fish. If you can get that thing out of there, get it out of there. You know, within a reasonable safety measures or whatever.
I don't think the fish is on it anymore.
No, I don't either.
Yeah, if they get
There's a
wrapped around
log
something good
running.
and solid, they'll spin and twist until they pop that hook out of them. I've caught big blue catfish in here that have a whole side of their face missing where they'd gotten on a trot line in the past and spun until they tore their face off to get loose and they would heal up and you have half the top of their head missing.
I know. Look how he's gonna have break that bed. There's a big log and there's concrete right underneath it.
That's why them fish are there.
Yeah. Oh, it hit the float or the float from earlier. What's your float from earlier? The one that broke off earlier. Yep, wrapped
They're
on the
running from the
same.
same spot.
Yep, that was the float from earlier that was broke off. Holy cow. I know I've got to be close to. I hope this is
That,
entertaining someone. I can't pull that log up out there. It's a big one. Woo! Yeah, we're probably gonna have to cut that one off.
oh, it sucks.
That is the third fish to run into whatever that is. Oh, I'm gonna get my cutters in case I can't break it. Yeah,
Yeah, see, this time of year, that's the reason we fish a lot in spots like that, where you got the big rocks piled up and the log piles and stuff, because that's where those fish, when they're spawning, a lot of times they'll get up in there, and that's where you're going to hook into the fish at. Unfortunately, it's so ridiculous trying to get them out of there.
well, you have confidence in your gear when you can do that right there.
Oh yeah, you ain't gonna break that rod, I'll tell you that.
That rod ain't going nowhere.
I definitely can't fish that side. They're gonna take me every time.
They're gonna get you.
It's not deep enough for me to pull them up away from it.
Trying to sell alongside the boat and motherfuckers posted as short as possible.
Yeah, the spot I'm fishing in right now, I actually literally have to take like one rod at a time, the tripod and the bait cooler and the camera. I have to come down here one thing at a time, and I slide on this big giant cottonwood tree that's laying down the bank, and basically just kind of just shimmy down it, carry it one thing at a time, and climb back up it, and carry down something else. It's not fun getting in this spot.
No. We already looked at it. Look at it here.
You know, Wabash Nate says you can tell B ain't happy.
No, that's the third fish that's ran her into that same spot tonight.
Well, B, you got to realize ain't nobody else go out there and do it any better. They'd have the same problem. It's just one of them situations where you got to fish a really difficult spot if you want to see the rod even bend. The problem is getting them out of there is just, it's so frustrating.
It's gonna have to catch short in front of it instead of behind it. I can keep them from running to it. I can't keep them from running into it.
Yeah. You know, see, I only got 3 rods set out right now because uh, I guarantee you when I reel these in, I'm going to lose the minimum. I'm going to lose the weight every rod when I reel it in because it's going to be hung up. But you absolutely have to use a float rig here with a peg float on it to keep your bait up above all those rocks and snags. But your weight's going to go down in there, so it's sacrificial. I mean, you're not getting that back. So basically, you just throw them out there and leave them alone, and hope that a fish gets on there and breaks that weight off, and you can get him up close to the surface before he gets dived down into that crap. That's how you do it here. I just gave that last fish way too much time, and he really had me wrapped up. But I did manage to get him out. Just didn't get him on the bank. And I don't know if they're going to bite this saltwater bait. That one a while ago might have just been just a fluke uh, bite or something. I've actually got some blue crabs to throw on here too. I don't know how those are here. I think a big blue would probably eat them.
Cast it short.
Probably did, right? I was telling to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's Dog and Die Outdoors.
Yeah.
Uncle Gene says that gets expensive losing all those big weights. Absolutely it does. That's why you don't see me fishing a lot. Just during desperate times whenever the fish aren't biting in your normal spots, you got to hit these crazy spots, but you're going to lose a lot of gear. So it's not a spot you want to fish on a regular basis, I'll tell you that.
The fish I'm after can only be found in spots like this, unfortunately.
Exactly. I mean, if you want the giants, you got to go where the giants are. Where the giants are is not where you want to go.
I'm flat obsessed. I cannot help it.
Oh, I know it. She's hooked, addicted. She's got a monkey on her back and she can't get it off.
That state record is mine, Danny. It's mine.
I believe it. And it's going to happen too.
We are 100% certain the next state record flat is those waters.
Well, see, that's why everything's happening to you is happening to you now. Because the person that pays their dues and goes through all the struggles and the trials and the tribulations, that's the person that usually comes out on top. So you're getting all that crap out the way now. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, yeah, let's go through the suck before we get to the glory.
The thing is I love chasing flats because there's absolute skill behind it. You can catch one accidentally, but to repeatedly
Yeah,
catch flats means you've literally learned their patterns.
yep.
And that is hard to freaking do because there's a large body of water and they are cautious and they don't roam.
No. Oh, I know a flathead spot up here. If you guys ever come up here, uh, and you bring your boat, or we get Richard's boat or Jerry Parker's boat, I've got a flathead spot that Jerry Parker and Richard Cluck don't even know about. And I'm telling
I
you,
just
it
I
is
love it.
crazy. There's no phone signal there though. You're rolling camera if you're going there. You're not gonna be
We
doing no
have
lives.
I got Starlink,
that we
Danny.
have Starlink, Danny.
We get a live
Oh
version
well,
anywhere.
now that may be a game changer then. But the spot that I'm talking about is it's basically a giant island on the Mississippi River, and where the current goes around the backside of that island, it's half the speed as the normal current on the other side of the island. And there are cypress stumps sticking up all over the place there, and cypress logs laying down. You drop a live bluegill suspended down in those logs. When that rod bends, you better grab it and pull straight up and keep pulling up because you got to keep him from going down. He'll go down to that log and get in there. But you can pull out all the flatheads you want right there. It's absolutely you can't bank fish it. You got to fish that from a boat.
See, what one of the reasons he's so obsessed with flatheads is because close to home here, I mean, we're starting to see some 50-pound blues and all that, but the flatheads are the biggest fish in the water here.
Yeah.
So that's he wants to find the biggest fish. Now, a few more
Well,
years, these
here the
blues get
biggest
a little
fish you're
bigger.
gonna the biggest fish here is definitely gonna be the blues. But you can get in some monster
It
flatheads here.
wouldn't matter to me though if the Blues were bigger because I just love the challenge of the finding and catching the flats. I just do.
Yeah.
It has always been my just obsession. Like I want flats. I want flats. I want flats.
And the thing
Oh,
about it to me, when I catch a flathead, what's so special about it, they just look so freaking cool. You know what I mean? I mean,
such
hands
an
down, I
amazing
think a
fish.
flathead looks way cooler than a blue cat.
The one she caught last night was so tore up. I felt bad for that fish. Like I want to hurry up and get this thing back in the water.
Well,
Felt like we needed landing.
that's how they carry on and keep going though. They got
Oh
down
yeah.
here and they beat themselves up.
Oh Lord, he was beat up.
That fish was in
Want to be
bad
outdoors?
shape.
Someone, hey Maddie, yeah, I can show you that flathead spot when you come up here. But if we ain't got no boat, we ain't gonna be able to fish it. I'll tell you that right now. We can try. It's a long walk on the
Danny,
bank because it's about a mile down.
Danny, you say the word, and we'll be there with the boat. You say when, we'll be there.
And y'all come
You
whenever you
already know
want.
I'm waiting for you and Jerry to set up my time.
Well, if we're gonna fish Parker's area for the big giant blue cat, uh, he'll know exactly when to go on that one. I'm figuring, August.
You know I love me some blues, but the blues I want are not in Ohio.
Yeah, anywhere from August to October is prime time here.
Well, and we're going down to Louisiana in November. We booked our trip. So yeah, excited about that one for sure.
Yeah, there was at one point in time, uh, me, Jerry Parker, and Richard Cluck all had the same PB. It was 88-pound blue cat. Uh, and then Parker went and got a 100-pounder. Me and Richards both still have 88s.
I'll take it.
That's still.
I'll take it.
Yeah, Richard got his 88-pounder about 200 yards upstream from where I'm at right now, and I got mine about a mile and a half downstream from where I'm at right now.
Well, I said we were going to fish till 12, but after that fiasco, we're going to go till 12:30 and see if we come out of that hole and bite something else.
Hey, you
Or
take it as
whenever
long as
Danny's
you want.
done. Or whenever Danny's done. That's how
No, I'll stay with you till you're done. I don't care.
that. It's
I
an
just had to.
absolutely gorgeous night.
I just got a little baseball bat I got laying here because sitting on top of these these logs here, raccoons come walking down and try to steal your bait and they'll fight you for it.
I have one that I feed at the dock.
Yeah, when we get to the boat ramp, she feeds one every night.
I love him.
The ones I got running around here will eat your face off.
That the one she's
You want
fed
to
the
hit me,
last couple
lady?
nights. She's fed the same one the last couple nights, and you can tell it's a juvenile, and
He's just cute.
Yeah.
it drags a piece of bait off into the woods, and you hear them fighting over it. And
He stands there and lets me talk to him. Talk to him. He just looks at me like, "Hey." He's only 3 feet away from me.
Yeah, Stacy's got one out in the front yard. I got a bunch of sacks, about gallon sacks full of shelled pecans in the freezer. And she's been feeding that freaking squirrel. She's got a squirrel in the front yard. She's been feeding him my pecans. I'm like, man, I ain't gonna feed that squirrel pecans. That's a lot of dang money. She still dumped some pecans out there to that stupid squirrel.
I love pecans.
now, brother, we have an Amish bakery 10 minutes from the house that they make these pecan rolls, big,
Oh
like
yeah.
I don't know, maybe like 9 by 12 sheet of pecan roll, and they put I mean, it's coated in it, and it's like $7 or $8. I can't buy the pecans for that.
They
No,
put
you
a
can't.
ton on it.
Oh, it is a ton. It's amazing though.
Oh, it is so yummy. I'm ready for you. I'm not getting in there.
That's funny how all three of them are in that same spot.
But you know what? We found them. We found them.
Yeah, I'm probably just gonna when I leave here tonight, stop by the store and grab a bag of ice and just ice this bait down and leave it in the truck tonight. It'll be fine tomorrow. Of course, I got some more in the freezer. If it ain't fine tomorrow, I'll pitch this and get some more.
We're gonna have to bring frozen bait just to be safe tomorrow.
Good thing I got
Yeah.
a freezer full of skipjack and some
Well, I
big
got a
shad.
freezer full of I've got skipjack, gizzard shad, mullet, ladyfish, and blue crab in the freezer for bait.
We do
Still
not
haven't
have
tried
my
the blue
favorite
crab
bait.
yet. Do what?
We don't have my favorite bait yet.
What would that be?
Bluegill. I am diehard bluegill. I have caught every big fish I've ever caught on bluegill.
Oh, bluegill a dime a dozen right here. I can catch them, no problem.
Typically we can too, but
It's
this year we've been
overfished.
struggling.
It's just overfished.
Oh, we've got several conservation lakes around here that they throw giant riprap rocks all the way around the lake on the bank. And you go along with a little crappie pole or something, jig them rocks, you just snatch out the bluegills and the green sunfish. Just dip it down, pull it out, dip it down, pull it out. As fast as you want, just snatch them out of there. You'll see them shoot out of the rocks, especially those sunfish, the green sunfish, which is, out of all the panfish, green sunfish is hands down my favorite. I prefer them over bluegill. They stay alive better and they're a little slimier, put off a little more scent.
Yeah, we got into a mess of green sunfish last weekend. Yeah, we got them before we went up there to Sandusky Bay. Yep.
Where'd you put on that one, by the way?
A big chunk of crappie. Big chunk of crappie.
Yeah, before I started using the skipjack and stuff, green sunfish was always my go-to. Growing up as a kid and stuff, That was my #1 bait for using on the Mississippi River. I've landed more big blue cats and more flatheads off green sunfish than I have any other bait. You know, as a kid growing up, we used to run trot lines on the river. We'd take green sunfish and hook them through the behind the dorsal fin and set them out on trot lines. You come back the next day, pull the trot line up, and you had one of three things. You either had a big catfish on there, or you had a bare hook, or you had a live green sunfish. They would still be alive the next day. And I put bluegills on there, you pull them up, and they'd be dead, and the gills is all white. And they kind of curl up like the letter C and stiffen up. And them green sunfish would still be kicking when you pull them up out of the water.
Now, when we first started seriously fishing, 15 years ago, chasing
Yeah.
catfish, the local bait shop where we went sold goldfish. I tell you what, a big goldfish will stay alive on a hook all night long,
Yeah.
and then you end up releasing them in the morning.
Yep, a lot of people around here use goldfish. I've never been a big fan of goldfish, though. Hey, there's Johnny Small Pepper. He says, hello, Danny. Hello, Chris and B.
Howdy, Johnny. Sound like running.
Well, I hate it when these fish do this to me. They do it a lot. You pull up on a spot, throw out rods, and within 5 minutes, you got a fish on, and then you sit there the rest of the night with nothing. I hate it when they do that, because you get that first fish on with it, hell, me and Cody would come down here, and I'd be baiting up and throwing her rods out, and she'd be reeling them in before I could even get the bait line up. But then you get all set up and think, okay, get everything down here. This is the spot. And you haul all the gear down there, you set up the chairs, you set up all the rod holders, and then you don't catch another fish. And you're like, it's just a mind game.
Yeah. We bank fished for the first 3 or 4 years that we were seriously chasing catfish on the river, small river in Ohio here. And
yeah,
the best spots were remote, not like Mississippi River remote, but hey, look, we might have to hike down the riverbank a little bit to get to a little gravel bar or a place where we could fish. And I couldn't do it anymore. I'm spoiled by the boat. That's why all of you that fish from the bank, nothing but respect.
well, I tell you what, it's starting to catch up with old Parker, but every weekend that I fish out here doing this, I am just so sore the next day, and ankles and muscles, and my wife's rubbing me down with all that uh, joint pain cream and stuff and everything else. And I got a couple more years of it left in me, I think. Then I'll have to start sitting in the spots where all the rest of people see it. Well, they pull up and they back their truck up in the water, drop the tailgate, and sit on it and fish out of it.
Howdy, Larry. I see you coming in there. You ain't late. You ain't missing
Oh,
anything.
boy, outdoors. I've fished with Larry a few times. I'll tell you what, man. He is he is a hoot.
We got
I
to
think
meet him
the
on the
world of Larry.
skipjack trip.
Yeah.
Yep, we got
Was
to
his
meet
wife
him
Fanny with him?
down there in
Was
Kentucky.
Fanny with him?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. She's a sweetheart. Yeah, we camped together over at Land Between the Lakes by Kentucky Dam. I think it was the year before last. Went over there, and Fanny and Larry met up with us over there. Matt from Want to Be Outdoors, he came over there. And let's see, who else came over there? Oh, dadgummit, Andrew Whitehouse, Size Matters Catfishing. He came over there. Yeah, that was when my granddaughter Coda caught her PB. We were fishing Fishing Fever Believer tournament, and Coda got a 39-pound blue. She went from an 8-pound PB to a 39-pounder that night. and Andrew was fishing upstream of us, and Matt from Wanna Be Outdoors was downstream of us. They were both fishing that tournament. But when Coda hooked into that fish, Andrew ran across the rocks in the dark and got down there and helped us get that fish in. And she's always thought the world of Andrew and Matt because Matt was cheering her on, and Andrew come running down there to help her get it, and I was trying to get that fish, and it was a pain in the butt because I had Black Betty stuck up in the rocks, and she went down. It broke the handle off her. Whatever hooked up on her snapped that rod. And Andrew was screaming at me because that rod was going in the water. And I jumped and grabbed it. He ran over and was helping Coda. And I was fighting the fish I had with the rod handle broke off of the rod. And it got wrapped in rocks and broke me off. And I just threw that rod down and ran back over to Coda because I knew she had a good fish on it. I knew it was going to be her PB, and that was more important than anything else.
Absolutely.
Wanna Be Outdoors says Austin's birthday tournament. You got to watch fishing this particular section of river right here too at night because there is one of the biggest river otters I've ever seen in my life, and he is very aggressive. I mean, he'll come up on the shore and be like chirping at you and stomping his feet. I mean, he is super aggressive. I'm just waiting on him one day to get the nerve to come up and just bite me in the leg. I've actually had to throw sticks at him before to run him off because he would come up on the bank toward me.
Now we used to do a lot of bass fishing, and we go jitterbugging at night, middle of summer. Which tonight looks like a good jitterbugging night. Thinking about it, but we go throw jitterbugs, top water, middle of the night, and we had one pond that we called it Crazy Raccoon because you'd walk to the corner of the pond, a coon would run out and run up a tree and sit about 8-10 feet up in the tree and just hoot and holler, hissing at you.
Yeah.
Every night we were out there. That coon he didn't never came down the tree to be aggressive, but man, he wanted you to know he was there.
Caught some big bass out of that
Yeah,
pond.
that was a great bass pond. Great. One of those ponds that's at the back of a farm that no one ever fishes. Yep.
Yeah, climb through lots of weeds and grass.
Yeah, I used to be this family that lived up the road from us when I was a kid. They had a huge pond on their property, and they had it stocked with some really giant bass. And they basically let it go and didn't pay no attention to it. Didn't go out there and catch fish because and they got so populated with bass that it got to where you couldn't catch anything bigger than 6 inches because if you get overpopulated, it stunts the growth. Just nature's way of slowing them down. And they basically ruined that pond and it got to the point where they were telling people, if you go out there and catch a bass, throw it up in the woods. Don't put it back in there because there's too many of them in there. And by that time, there was just so many of them you couldn't call them out.
Yeah. It's fun for a place to like take a kid or something, but let's face it, those of us that are bass fishing, we want something a little bit bigger than a pickle.
Yeah, you go out there with a crappie jig and throw it out there, and you wouldn't get 2 turns on the handle and you had a bass on. And it wouldn't be but 5-6 inches. Then take him off, throw it out there, same thing. You wouldn't get 2-3 turns on the handle, and you had a fish on every cast.
We were blessed to live in a small town out in the middle of nowhere, and I knew a bunch of farmers, so we always had ponds to fish. Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
I grew up out there in the hills out there west of the town I live in now. I still own that property, as a matter of fact, 10 acres of land up there. My mom and dad bought that property the day I was born. Well, they were actually, they went into the bank to sign the papers to buy the property. And while Dad was signing the papers, Mom's water broke, and they rushed her to the hospital. So when I come home from the hospital, I had 5 older sisters, and they all moved into that house out there when I come home from the hospital. So they would say, well, we're older than you. We've been here longer. I said, nope, you haven't, because we all showed up at that property the same day. But yeah, after my mom passed away, I didn't know it, but she had owed a bunch of debts, and another man had got the property from her for 2 years, and she didn't tell me that she owed a bunch of money. And I went up there to look at the property one day, and guy showed up, and I told him, yeah, it's family farm. He said, no, some guy uh, over there told me his name, said he owns it now. I said, really? I said, well, when did all this happen? And I called the guy, and he told me, yeah, your brother got in a little bit of trouble, and your mom put the land up to get him out of trouble, and she lost it. And she didn't want to tell you because she's afraid how you'd react toward your brother. And I'm like, well, how much do you need for it? And he said, well, she owes me $3,000. This 10 acres of land now, wood lots, deer everywhere. And I said, well, crap, I'll have your money first thing tomorrow morning. And he said, all right, deal. $3,000 for 10 acres. That's all she owed. And
Wow.
I hung up the phone, and he called back about 15 minutes later. And he goes, well, I was talking to my wife, and that's 10 acres of land. It's worth a lot more than 3,000. So would you give 20 for it? And I said, no. I said, I sure won't. And he hung up, and about 5 minutes later, he called back. He said, how about 17,000? When you get 17, I said, look here, you got my mom's land for $3,000. I'll give you 10,000 cash tomorrow morning and get that land back. I'm not going no higher. He said, oh no, he said, I can't do that. I said, well, thank you for your time. And that's pretty much the end of the conversation. The 10,000 as far as I can go. And hung up on him. And 15 minutes later, he called back and he said, can you have that 10 grand in the morning? I'm like, I sure can. And so I got,
Yep.
he got it for 3,000. I bought it back for 10. I've been broke ever since.
Yeah,
Man,
that's something they don't make any more of. So
yeah, we put up the house for collateral. We put up my truck and her car. It's crazy. Are you getting hit?
He did. He got angry.
yeah, I went a little too soon.
Let's see, we got 19 people on YouTube, 2 on Facebook watching.
I should have waited.
I guarantee you that first rod right there is hung up in the rocks, because the other 2 keep shifting when the current changes, but that one there's just staying tight, so it's wrapped up in a rock for sure. Ain't no doubt about it. You're real slack up on this one here. Well, if it wasn't for all the dadgum bugs, it'd be a pretty nice night. I mean, there's a little breeze blowing. Humidity ain't too bad.
Where's the cold air for this thing?
Danny, I keep this
See,
little
Matt. Go ahead.
DeWalt job site fan blowing on me. It really keeps the bugs
Yeah,
off.
Chris and Kelly were showing me. They bought some at Harbor Freight. I said, yeah. I said, they had a fair the other day, and I said, that looks like the one I saw at Harbor Freight. And they said, that's exactly where it come from. And they
Yeah.
look pretty decent. That keeps the bugs off of you.
Yep, just that little
Yeah,
bit of breeze will really keep the bugs off.
well, I used to carry that little 2,000 watt suitcase generator with me, and I had to carry a 3 gallon jug of gas, and I carried a little fan that stood up on a stand, and I'd fire a generator and plug that fan in, and it worked great. But now it's just too much trouble to carry a generator, a gas jug, and a fan. In addition, with all the other gear that you got to carry down. Let's see, Matt, I want to be outdoors. Danny, do you ever hunt that property? My granddad owned land in Pennsylvania, West Virginia. We used to go up there all the time and hunt beautiful country hills. I hunt that property every year. I go out there and shoot one deer. That's all I need from Anastasia. But I'll see 30 or 40 deer, and I'll usually pick out a medium to small deer. I don't go after the big bucks and all that stuff because it's way more meat than just me and her needs. So I don't trophy hunt. Generally, I go for a smaller doe or a medium-sized doe. Because anything other than that, I'm just, I'm shooting the deer just because, oh, look at the rack on him. No, we put meat in the freezer. That's all we need. I have taken some nice bucks off there. I can show you some racks sometime. I got them hanging on the wall. But that's back when we had all the kids at the house and grandkids, and everybody was eating deer meat. But for me to shoot a big deer now, deer season will come around the next year, and we'll still have probably a fourth of that deer left over from the year before. And I don't like wasting nothing. You got bit? Yeah, that center rod, did y'all see it jump? I'm staring at it. I'm looking at it right now. I saw him tap it. Yeah, I got my eye on that rod. I'm just waiting on him to get stick with it. Now, here's the thing. When he taps on it like that and that line goes tight like that, chances are he just wrapped that around a rock. There's a real good chance that fish took that down there and wrapped it around a rock. Because if you notice, when he bounced it, it stayed down on the last bounce. Which is telling me, yeah, he went into a concrete hole or a block or something. And I can promise you that rod right now is hung up because that fish taking it down there. But I won't let him sit there. And if he's on there and he comes out behind that rock, he'll bend it again. And that rod there, it's got a half of a mullet on it. It's about an 8-inch mullet, and I cut it in half. So it's 4-inch bait. But yeah, he did a little tappy tap on it. I saw it. He's still holding that line tight though. The other two got a little bit of droop in them. That there's tight. And chances are it's wrapped up in a rock now. We'll have to wait and see. That's one thing about me, I've bait fished all my life. 59 years old, fixing to be 60. I've been fishing this section of river here, since I was 8 years old. So I've spent a lot of time on this water. A lot of time. Been catfishing here since I was 8. So, dadgum. 51 years I've been fishing this spot. You'd think I'd have it all figured out by now, wouldn't you?
You would think. But, well, this reservoir that we're on, my grandfather owned property on that butted right up to the reservoir before they even built it, well, under the reservoir,
Yeah.
up to it. And I fished out here since I was a kid. Now, we didn't have blues until 2012,
Yeah.
but yeah, I fished it on and off for bass. And they used to stock walleye in here. Now they stock sawguy. But yeah, I fished it, and I still don't know very much of this water. I really don't.
Well, I tell you what, in all the life that I've lived and all the time I've spent fishing this river, I've been in a bit of a slump the past year or so. It's just like I hadn't been doing as good as I usually do. But I'm not going to complain because I have pulled some of the most amazing fish out of this river. Fish that people will never even dream of catching. I mean, they can dream about it, but it's not going to happen. So, if I died tomorrow, I'm perfectly happy with what I've done with my life on it as far as fishing.
Oh yeah, all those pie balls are amazing.
I'm telling you, man, I'm one of the luckiest because there's no technique that you use the same techniques you do for blue cats, and every now and then you catch one that's just like super freaky special. And man, I have been more blessed than any 10 people I know when it comes to things, and I don't get it. People always tell me, says, "What's your trick to catching all those?" And I said, "Man, you know, it just happened." And I've been extremely fortunate, uh, more fortunate than probably, like I said, any 10 people I know to catch them. I've got 18 of those freaking things in my lifetime. And every one of them
That
was special
albino
because they're
one
all different.
Aston caught.
Do what?
Do you see that albino one Aston caught? The big, huge
Yeah,
albino one? That's
yeah.
crazy.
And you
He
see,
made paper for that.
uh, the Benoits, they catch, I don't know if I pronounce this right or not, the acoustic or acoustic chail cats. They're kind of a albino looking, but they're kind of yellow, but they got red eyes. Those things are just super freaky. I've never caught one of those, and they catch them. I mean, they catch them all the freaking time. They catch a lot of them. And I'm not sure how to pronounce that. It's acoustic, acoustic, something. I'm probably saying it totally wrong. But yeah, my top two piebalgs that I've caught that are my favorite. Of course, everybody knows the one with the question mark on his head. That's number one. But the last one that I caught, the very last one that I caught on stand day, that fish there was amazing. If you go back and look at the patterns on it and stuff, and it had the pink stripes on the tips of his tail, that fish was so freaking cool. And for me to catch it on stand day, and Dustin Carpenter was up on panel with Stan, and I hadn't caught nothing all day. And everybody was just beating the crap out of me on stand day. Everybody's catching fish. And I had a takedown about 7 minutes, I think it was, before the show was over. And reeling that fish in, when it rolled to the top, I knew. I looked at the camera and said, okay, guys, y'all may have caught a lot of fish today, and you may have put a lot of weight on the board, but I'm fixing to show you the coolest thing you've ever seen in your life. And Stan knew. He goes, you got a freaking pieball, don't you? And I go, yes, I do.
How many have you caught?
18. I've caught 18.
That's, that's awesome.
Got
What's the
pictures of
biggest?
all of them, too.
What's the
Well, the
biggest
biggest
as
one,
far as weight?
okay, that's the thing. The biggest one I cannot take credit for. The biggest one was 36 pounds. And
Oh wow!
this is the coolest thing ever. When when
Oh,
I married my
oh,
wife,
oh.
Stacia, oh, you getting
Station.
hit?
Yeah.
Yeah. When I married my wife, Stacia, we'd been together for, I don't know, probably about 6 months after we got married. Been married 6 months. And she wanted to come to the Mississippi River and go catfishing with me. Number one, she'd never fished the Mississippi River. Number two, she'd never catfished the Mississippi River. She basically, it was just the first things for her, everything. It was the first time I took her fishing, the first time she fished the Mississippi River, the first time she fished for catfish. And we come over and set up a tent not far from here and camped out overnight. We set the rods up in rod holders or stuck them down in rocks, and it was kind of nippy that night. And we went up to the campfire to warm up. Well, we came back down, and I looked at Stacia. I said, "Your rod's gone." And she goes, "What?" I said, "Your rod's gone." And sure enough, it was gone. I grabbed another rod and I started casting and casting and casting. And I casted about 30 times and I said, you know what? It's gone. Out there one more time and reeled up and I had fishing line on the hook. And I started pulling fishing line and that rod was about 6 feet off the bank. I pulled it up and I handed it to her. Well, she started reeling and it was bent over like there was a brick on it. And she was, yeah, something, a log or something got caught up on it and pulled it in the water. And so she's reeling, reeling. It's just dead weight. And all of a sudden, this solid white head breaks the surface 4 feet from the bank. And when it broke the surface, boom, it took off running, screaming, drag. And the reel came out of the reel seat. And she's screaming. I grabbed the reel and I opened it up and let the line go. And I put it back in the reel seat and tightened it up. And when I got tight, I said, go, go, go. And she started reeling. And she fought that fish and fought it, got it in. And it was a 36-pound piebald that she caught. That was her first fish from the Mississippi River, her first time fishing the Mississippi River on the very first cast. And she gets a 36-pound freaking piebald. I told her, all right, throw you in the river. But she was screaming so loud. There was an old couple camping down from us. The old man come running down with a shotgun. He thought I was killing her.
Oh, man. That's
He come
awesome.
up there with that shotgun. What's going on down here? I said, and he looked at her and she said, look what she just caught. And he goes, oh my God. And he ran back and got his wife. And they ran down there and they was looking, they was all screaming and crazy and stuff. And I got pictures of Stacia holding that fish up. It's a huge piebald. It was beautiful. But yeah, her first time fishing the Mississippi River on the very first cast, her very first fish was a 36-pound piebald. So the biggest one I don't get credit for, it goes to my wife. But we had all that happen and still got that fish. The rod got pulled in, the reel come off the reel seat. You know, it was just insane. And then get that fish in and have it and get pictures with it was just, I mean, with everything that went wrong, we shouldn't have got that fish. But we did.
That was awesome. That was awesome.
Yeah, that's one of her favorite moments fishing ever.
Oh, yeah, that's hard to beat. When you do that with your first fish on the river, you're like, all right, now
Oh, yeah.
what else am I going to do?
Right. And she thought, oh, there are a lot of these out there? And I got, no, there's not. She goes, you know, I caught one on my first try. I said, shut up, go to the tent, we're going to bed. I'm done dealing with you. And I said, you're about to get on my nerves now. You're making me look bad.
Oh, man.
But no, I was super proud of her. But yeah, she can tell you that story and she just lights up because she remembers it like it was yesterday. Uncle Jeep said he caught a cold once.
That's hard to do down there in the desert.
You know what it is? I guess they get those summer colds. Well, I'm pretty sure that middle rod got tapped on ago. That line is still pulled tight. I can guarantee you that fish is down there stuffed up in a hole or wrapped around a rock because he ain't moved it since. And he put a pretty decent tap on it, so he wrapped it around something. I'm going to wait him out, though. I got the patience of Job. I ain't kidding you.
But in the last 5 minutes or so, we've each had a little tiny hit. Almost seems more like a turtle. But
yeah. You know, that's something I've never caught out of the Mississippi River, out of the actual Mississippi. Now, the tributaries that come off of it, yeah. I have never caught a turtle on the Mississippi. Never.
Huh.
Now, I can go up into these little creeks and stuff, the feeder creeks that dump into it, and oh, yeah, you can't keep turtles off the hook. But in the main river, I've never caught a turtle.
we don't catch a lot of them, but, well, not here. And some of the other smaller rivers and all that, we catch a lot of soft shells.
Yeah.
And I've always been amazed at how fast the soft shell turtle is.
Oh, my God, dude, they're so quick.
Yeah.
And they will spin around and you'll think, what? You think you've got a fish, a really big fish. because the way they swim, I mean, it's just so
Mm-hmm.
fast. Now, snapping turtle, they're just like, it's like dragging a rock. They just stick their feet in the mud and hang on. But a soft shell will take off like a rocket.
Oh yeah. And you release them on the bank back to the water. Man, they are fast.
Yeah, have you ever seen them like, you ever seen those cars when they burn out and the front tires lift off the ground? That's been a soft shell turtle. You watch. When you put them down, when they first take off, the front end will come off the ground and the back legs are hitting them and taking off. They're quick, boy.
Yep. And that little head just sticking out there in the front. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Now, most of them we catch are the size of a dinner plate or slightly smaller. Caught one down in the Muskingum River one night. Sun was coming up and rod starts bending over. And man, that thing, I had a old 115 Evinrude on the back. That turtle in the net was bigger than the top of that
Oh,
115.
yeah.
That was a
Huh?
big old soft shell.
Yeah, generally speaking, I catch them. They're about the size of a 9-inch pie plate pan or a little bigger, 12-inch pie pan. But yeah, I have caught a couple of them that were just like massive. You think, oh my God, this thing's got to be older than Methuselah.
Danny, you ever catch hellbenders, mud puppies, any of that out of Mississippi?
Dude, I got a video, a short. It's from 2 or 3 years back. Uh, fishing in the dead of winter. It was pretty close to the time that I caught that piebald with a question mark on its head. It's like a week after that. I threw the rod out there and it had like a little tap or tickle on it, and it sat there and sat there, and I reeled it up and it felt kind of weird. I said, there's something on here, and I reeled up and I thought it was a ball of leaves, and it was a freaking mud puppy, and he was wrapped all up in hanging onto the line and had the hook in his mouth. He was trying to pull that hook, and so he wrapped up the line. And I caught that thing in the wintertime. And that's actually, I got a video showing that thing. You have to go back a little ways, but you'll see it. Yeah, go back and look at it. You'll check it out. It's got the video. Be reeling it up and going, look at what we got, a mud puppy. And I hold it up. And you know what an anaconda, how they got the skin color, and they got the black spots on the anaconda, the big snake? He had that same pattern on him. And you can see it all clearly on the video. It's just wicked looking.
Cool.
Yeah, I held him up the camera and got close-ups of his head and the gills, and it's pretty wild. But yeah, you can go back and find that video.
I caught my first one.
Yeah.
I caught my first one. The fella, friend of mine I was fishing with, he said they were poisonous. Don't let that thing bite you. They're poisonous. It scared the hell out of me.
My dad and my grandpa told us that growing up too. He said, oh, they're deadly poison. They're deadly poison. And
so I'm all trying to cut the line off and all that and threw them back. Now that I know better, it's like, damn, yeah. But no, I was scared to death of that thing.
Oh, growing up as a kid, our parents and our grandparents, they just basically convinced us everything could kill you. That way we didn't touch nothing. Because, they knew that some snakes was poisonous and some wasn't. So they just told us everything will kill you. Don't touch anything. And a lot of people, I'm not gonna say that I get angry or whatever with people, but I grew up catching snakes and different kinds, and I've caught venomous snakes and I've caught non-venomous snakes, and I got a really good understanding of them. I can recognize them and identify them very easily. And one of the things that just drives me nuts is when people say, and I don't care that you say it, if that's what you feel, that's what you're raised, but they go, the only good snake is a dead snake. And I'm like, I hate that saying, because I had speckled king snakes around the farm and stuff. I turn them loose on our property because they will kill copperheads, rattlesnakes, and everything else. And there's certain snakes that I protect, and I'll actually, if I catch them from somewhere else, I'll take them to my property and turn them loose.
Oh, yeah.
Because they'll get rid of the ones you don't want there.
Yep. No, I absolutely got no problem with snakes. Now, when they startle me, I walk outside. I walk several miles a day for my
Yeah.
work, and yeah, when they startle you, it's a little unnerving, but
And
I
that's
still have
another
no
thing.
problem.
If I can see him and I know where he's at, I'm okay with it. If I'm in some tall weeds or some brush or something and I know one's in there with me and I don't know where he's at, yeah, I'm like anybody else. I'm like, I don't need to be in here with this thing. Hey, we was just talking about them.
Absolutely.
There's size matters catfishing, Mr. Andrew Whitehouse. We were just talking about you all ago. Uh, when he was with us when Coda caught her PB. So speaking of the devil, there's Andrew right there. Yeah, Austin sent me a copy of that video, and I don't know what I did with it. I can't find it.
Well, Danny, we're going to start wrapping it up here, brother.
All right, yeah,
Um,
because it's I got 11:24. I'm gonna hang around till midnight, and I'm getting out of here because, like I said, by the time I get home, jump in the shower, get something to eat, and get in bed, it's gonna be closer to 1:30, 2 o'clock, and then I won't turn around and get right back up at 5. So
yeah.
I
Well,
don't
it
care
was a
how late
pleasure
I
hanging
stay
out
up.
with
I
you.
get up at 5 o'clock.
I've slept in the last couple of days because we've been out late and fishing till midnight. But
Yeah,
I'll be up in the morning to go. I got to come out and try and find some bait.
yeah.
Then fish
Oh,
Saturday and Sunday.
I actually just told a lie because I slept in until 6:30 this morning. I didn't get up
Nice.
at 5 this morning. But man, that long drive from Mississippi and getting up early to pack the camper up, and it was a lot of work. And so I was pretty beat by the time we got in last night, and we had to clean everything out of the camper. Took everything out of the refrigerator, cleared all the cabinets. We got everything done last night. Finished up a little bit this morning with going out there and getting dirty laundry and stuff. But basically, we unpacked everything last night, so it was late when we got to bed. So I was tired. And yeah, I slept in a little bit this morning.
Sometimes you just gotta. But
Yep. What last rod over there just dropped slack all the way to the bank, so I'm gonna have to go tighten that up and see what's going on there.
but Danny, we're gonna jump out of here. You know we love you, brother. Thanks everyone for
All
hanging
right,
out
love
with us
y'all too.
tonight. Yep.
Hey,
We'll see
get home,
y'all in the
get some
morning.
rest, and we'll see y'all tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll do it again.
Yep.
All right. Later, brother.
All right, see ya. I'm gonna say how cool it'd be if that rod just went down right now. Right if they left, I'd be like, "Hey, you left 2 seconds too early." I'm sure that center rod's hung up on a rock. No, I don't know. He dropped a little slack back in it. I'm sure that one's hung up on a rock. I almost guarantee it. But we're gonna let them soak and sit, because there ain't nothing to hit none of them hard enough to rip the bait off there. I got a pretty good bait on there. I got it hooked on pretty good. They're gonna have to hit it a lot harder than they've hit it to get it off there. So I'm pretty certain there's still bait on them, all of them rods. So we got about 33 more minutes, and we'll shut it down. Well, we're gonna wait and see if anything comes along, snatches hold of them. Yeah, Andrew, yeah, that will always be a great memory for me, brother. Yeah, it's absolutely. Uh, as far as fishing goes, that's Coda's. That's her most precious memory she's got right now. And she's went back and watched that show so many times, and she talked about how Andrew was up there behind me and clapping and cheering, and the whole time and yelling, get it, Coda, and yay, Coda, and yeah, that's a moment in her life she'll never forget, and you're always going to be a part of her life because you were there with her when that happened. And she'll never forget that, brother. I promise you, she won't. And she better not forget it. Like I said, she watches that video at least once a month. And she slacked off, over the past year or so. She used to watch it every other day. They want to watch my catfishing video again? I'm like, yeah, I guess. Go ahead. I've seen it. I've got it memorized by heart. But she'd want to watch it again. And all I gotta do is mention it to her, and she'll go, "Hey, I want to go watch that." Yeah, it's getting late. It's gonna be late by the time I get home too. Dadgum. My wife asked me, she said, "You gonna stay and fish after dark?" And I said, "Nah, probably not." I think I think I missed the mark on it. I told her, I said, "I'll be home probably right as the sun goes down, most likely." Yeah, I'll be home probably about 8:30. That's what I told her. But that's one of the cool things about YouTube. And if my wife used to before YouTube, I come over to River, man. I'd come over here on a Friday after work, and I'd bring colorful food with me and a bunch of water, and I'd get off work on Friday, and I'd come over here to the river, and I wouldn't come home till Sunday night, and she would aggravate the crap out of me because she'd be constantly calling and checking on me. She goes, "I'm just worried. You fell in the river and drowned and you're dead, and I just want to make sure you're okay." So she'd call me every hour and check on me. Now, I'm talking about fishing for 3 days, and she'd call me every hour until she went to bed, and as soon as she woke up, she'd call me to make sure I was still alive. But now that, when I started YouTube several years back, anytime she wants to check on me, she just turns on YouTube and goes, "Yep, can't collect the insurance money yet." He's still there. But yeah, YouTube has been great for her to be able to check on me and not worry if I'm okay or stuff like that. So, it's not just for entertainment, it's also for her peace of mind, knowing that I'm safe and, nothing's wrong. All right, 30 more minutes, you guys. We're going to get 30 more minutes, and I'm going to get on out of here. I may reel up that first rod there and check it because I think it's hung up. And if I break it off in the rocks, I'm probably not going to retie it unless I break just the weight off. Then we'll retie it. But it got pulled pretty tight a while ago. That right there. And if you look, that line, you can see it's still pretty tight. Oh, there, I started talking about it and just bounced it. I put the camera on it and he thumped it. Did y'all see that? So we're not going to reel it in. We're going to let it sit there for a minute. Because something as soon as I put the camera on it, something bumped that rod. Let's see if it works on the other one. How about you? No? Right, we're going to keep an eye on him now. Try to get it where we can see the tips of all three of them. That will work right there. Now, in fact, over there goes down. The more it goes down, the more of it you're going to see on the screen. So that works perfect. We can see if any one of those three get hit. We'll be able to see it. But yeah, as soon as I put that camera on, I don't know if you guys saw it or not, but that one right there, he pulled down on it a little bit. But it's been tight for a long time. I almost bet you he's got that wrapped around a rock. I bet he does. Looking back on the memory of the dance we shared beneath the stars above. For a moment, all the world was right. How was I to know that you'd ever say goodbye? And now I'm glad I didn't know the way it all would end, the way it all would go. Our lives are better left to chance. I could have missed the pain, but I'd have had to miss the dance. holding you. I held everything, and for a moment, wasn't I the king? But if I'd only known how the king would fall, hey, who's to say? You know I might have changed it all, and now I'm glad I didn't know the way it all would end, the way it all would go. Our lives are better left to chance. I could have missed the pain, but I'd have had to miss the dance. Ah, it's only, there was 11 people in here. I figured I'd run off 3 of them. I'm getting rid of y'all slowly one at a time. I always feel bad leaving when there's a bunch of people on the stream, but you know, we're down to 8 on YouTube and 2 on Facebook, so that's my loyal stand by me kind of people. And no, I'm not singing Stand By Your Man by Patsy Cline. Ain't doing it. Not gonna do it. Hey, we got one back. We're back up to 9. Let's see. I think we're going to reel that first rod in and check it. I think it's hung up. I'm pretty sure it is. What do y'all think? You think it's on a rock? I bet you it's hung on a rock. Let's find out. Hopefully we just lose the sinker and not the whole rig. Let's find out. I bet it's hung on a rock. Come on out there. Oh, no, it ain't either. Why was that daggum line so tight? Dadgum. Yeah, if you notice, I jerked that up real fast. It's to get it off the bottom and get away from them rocks. Let's see what we got going on here. Now we still got a half a mullet on there. He's kind of washed out. Let's get rid of him. I'm going to throw on that rock right there because I can guarantee that otter's going to be by later and he'll eat that. What do we got cut over here fresh? It looks good. That ain't bad. We'll put that on there and throw it out there. We'll throw fresh bait on there. Oh. The line was pulled tight. Wasn't like that when I wasn't looking a while ago. I don't think it was. Alright. There's some trees back there behind me in the dark. I can't see them. So I just hope I don't get hung up in them when I throw out there. That's pretty good. Sink to the bottom side. There you go. Got a little bit of backlash there. It's not bad though. It'll pull right out. There it is. Let's tighten that up. We'll stick her back down in the rocks. There we go. All right, got fresh bait on that one. That is not where I had that. I don't want him pulling my rod in the water, so I got to figure out where I had that at. I don't know. You lose your little rocky rod holders whenever you move around here in the dark. Let's stick it right there. That looks good. All right, then. I think we're going to leave those other 2 alone. We only got about 28 more minutes probably, so we'll just let them soak. We'll ride this out. We'll leave it at that. See if anything gets on there. Hey, look, lady, what's going on? Play some Scattered. Let me think. What Leonard Skinner songs I know? I used to do Call Me the Breeze. Well, they call me the breeze. I'm not very good at that one, though. I keep rolling down the road. Well, now they call me the breeze. I keep rolling down the road. I ain't gotta need nobody. I don't carry me no load. Mr. Breeze. Woo-hoo-hoo. Yeah, Leonard Skinner's a little bit harder for me to do. It's a little bit out of my voice range, actually. All right, so we know for sure that we got fresh bait on that first rod there, right there, on that. And the other two ain't getting hit hard enough to knock the bait off of them. They've had a couple of little taps, but no big major pull downs that can rip that bait off there. So I'm pretty certain we still got bait on it. It's probably washed out by now. I got to check this bait that I got. I have had it on ice all day long in the back of the truck. And it may not be no good no more. I may have to grab some out the freezer in the morning, pitch this stuff. We shall see. But don't worry, I got bait for tomorrow. And I'll make the old cast net and get some fresh stuff. I need to use up some of this stuff though. I got so much bait in the freezer that I hate keep catching. I mean, I always like to use fresh bait. We know that. Everybody knows you want to use fresh bait. But at the same time, when I got a freezer full of bait and I keep catching fresh bait, I'm not using that frozen stuff. And I need to be using it because I don't like wasting it. You know, that being said, usually after I've had bait in the freezer for about 2 or 3 months, there's a bunch of boys that run trot lines and jug lines. I usually give them about half of it just to thin it out. And then I'll start using the rest of it up pretty quick, and then I'll go get some more. Fill the freezer up again. But I don't like to keep it more than 3 or 4 months in the freezer, unless it's vacuum sealed, which some of it is. Some of it, I actually take a plastic wrap. And for me, it's a lot easier and faster than the vacuum sealing and cheaper. Just take plain old plastic wrap and wrap it up real tight to make sure you ain't got no air in there. And it'll keep just as long as vacuum sealing it. Just the key is to make sure there's no air in there. Well, that moon's awful wicked tonight. Look at it shining on the water. Blue moon up Kentucky wants to keep on shining. We're in Missouri, so it don't matter to me. Yeah. What we got left? 19 more minutes, guys. But we're just going to sit here and keep an eye on them rods and relax and chill out. You guys can say goodbye and go to bed whenever you feel like it. You ain't going to hurt my feelings. It's late, and I know everybody's tired. And I'm just hanging around to an even hour, midnight, and then I'll pack up and get on out of here. If I'd have brought some food with me, I might stay all night and just fish in the morning on stand day and then do my show and then go home. But I didn't bring nothing with me but 2 sodas and 3 bottles of water, so we're not staying out here all night. Boy, I'll tell you what, these dadgum mosquitoes, they thinned out some since the temperature dropped a little bit. They're still, the hungry ones are still here. They're trying to eat me alive. But I can tell you right now, the spot I'm in right now is so tucked down in the woods, and you got to go through so much stuff to get to it. I guarantee you I can leave every bit of this stuff here tonight, come back tomorrow, and it'll still be here. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What we got going there? Keep an eye on it. He's bouncing it. He's bouncing it. You see it? He's tapping on it. He's dropping slack. He's dropping slack. We got some fish activity right there on that rod right there. He's heading right for them rocks too. I can see the line moving through the water. He dropped slack. He's swimming toward the shore where the rocks are. We got one working on that rod right there, guys. Maybe we'll get lucky and get on a fish here in a second. But he is heading right for them rocks. The rocks are right out in the middle, right about there. and that line was out that way. And he tapped it, and that line's moving that way. It's moving upstream toward them rocks. Let's see what he's going to do. I'm stepping on the daggone tripod leg and moving the camera. I don't know what he's going to do there. He's still got slack in it. I hope he ain't made the rocks already. He was tapping on it, but he ain't moving it now. Let's just be patient and see what happens. We're basically just milking the clock right now anyway, till 12 o'clock. So, because if I go over and reel down on him and I miss him, then I'm going to be like, I should have let him eat a little bit longer. So we'll just keep an eye on it and see what happens. If we don't get him, we don't get him. But if I go over and reel down on that fish and miss him, I'm going to feel a lot worse than just not waiting and letting him go. I've missed so many fish from reeling down on them too early. I jumped the gun. And you just got to calm down and wait. Because a lot of times they'll peck on it. And they'll sit there and mill around with it, and they'll have the bait in their mouth, but not the hook. And you got to give him time to feel that bait out and make sure that's something he wants to eat. And if he decides to eat it, you'll know it. Because that rod will bend over like a lightning. It'll just boom real quick and it's gone. And sometimes they just chew on it, spit it out, and swim away. And that line's going back downstream now. I know the fish has got a hold of bait right now. I just don't know if he's got a hold of the hook. I don't know how. If it's a smaller fish and we reel down on him, we're going to miss him. But he's swimming back and forth with that bait. See, he's dropped slack in again. See that slack in there? Right there? It was pulled out tight that way. And he tapped it a few times and dropped slack. It's swam upstream. Now it's got slack in it and the line's going back downstream. So he's got a hold of it. I just don't know if he's got that hook. I just don't know. I don't have x-ray vision. I'm scared. Oh, he's going back upstream now. I don't know. He's acting kind of weird. I'm just going to wait him out. I don't want to jump the gun on him. I'm scared I will. There's been times I've had fish do that and I sat there for 30 minutes and all of a sudden the rod would go down. And there's been times I've had to do that and I go over and reel down on it and I'd feel him for a second and he'd let go of the bait. But he's got 14 minutes to make up his mind. Because at 12 o'clock midnight, the ball is over, Cinderella, and I'm going to turn this whole thing into a pumpkin and reel it up and roll it out of here. If he wants it, he better get it now. Or within the next 13 minutes. I may fish this spot tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. This river's dropping pretty damn quick. It may look like this right now. I mean, there's a big old tree down there. I don't know if y'all can see it right there. That sucker goes way out into the water. And that third rod down there, I've got cast out there, and that bait is underneath that tree. I drifted it up under there. I was hoping there'd be a big old flathead laying under that tree there. That's what I was hoping for. It's a risky move because there's a root wad at the end of it. Now the water's down, last time it was down real low, I come over and looked at that tree. It had a big, huge root wad. Well, that's where my bait's sitting. It's right next to that root wad. It's good potential for flathead, but it's also a 90% chance of getting hung up and not getting them out of there. You got high potential for fish loss right here. He ain't doing nothing no more. I guess he got all that bait he wanted to quit. I'm going to turn back and see all three of them just in case something happens. But we will keep an eye on that first rod right there. See if he comes back. Might have been a gar. It's kind of acting like a gar, you know what? Now that I think about it. Because he pecked on it and he's swimming with it real slow, like he's carrying it in his mouth. The freaking gar did that. As long as there's not a body under that log, then again, this isn't Las Vegas. That's why I don't fish up around, St. Louis is upstream of me. And the closer you get to St. Louis on the Mississippi River, your odds of finding a body floating in the river go up exponentially. I personally have not found a body on the river. I know several guys who have. Me and a hunting buddy of mine who got killed in a car wreck about, oh Lord, probably about 18 years ago. Me and him did find a body in the deer woods, and that body was in 4 50-gallon trash bags. He had been dismembered, and they put him in 4 trash bags and took him out and dumped him in the deer woods, and we was out there deer hunting. And the guy I was hunting with, he's a busybody, nosy. He saw the trash bags over in the deer woods, and he just had to know what it was. So he went over there and opened one of them up and ripped it open, and the arm fell out. He don't want to hear him to open their trash can again after that, trash bag. But we called the police, and they came out there, and they did a full investigation, and they talked to some people that knew him, and it didn't take long to find out. They found out who it was, and they talked to the people that knew him. It didn't take long for them to find out who killed him, because come to find out, a bunch of people was ready to snitch. Apparently, this guy was dealing with people that was cooking meth and stuff, and they cooked up a whole bunch of meth and gave it to him to sell, and they went to collect their money, and he didn't have the meth and he didn't have the money. And apparently it was quite a bit. It was enough that they chopped his ass up and put him in 4 trash bags and took him to the deer woods, I'll tell you that. So they caught the guys that did it, though. But that's what happened to him. That's another reason drugs is bad for you. You wind up in a trash bag in the middle of the damn deer woods. That ain't funny, but you know what? It's life choices. They'll take you one way or another. Well, they say they gave him a huge amount of product that they'd cooked up. And apparently, he was going out and giving it to a bunch of women and stuff. How can I put this? He was taking out in trade instead of cash. But they said that he was real popular with a bunch of the ladies around town for a long time, till he run out of meth. And when the old boys come to collect their money, hell, he didn't have no money. That's how he got killed. True story. Oh, what we got left? 8 more minutes. Come on, fish. I know you're out there. I got to tap on that middle rod. I got to tap on this rod closest to us. And we know there's still bait on there. I'm going to give you 8 more minutes. Product for services. Exactly, Uncle G. I don't think it's worth your life, to be honest with you. I don't know how much he enjoyed hanging out with them women. But I hope he had a good time, because it got him killed. And I think them boys got life. They got them for, I don't know how many charges. Number 1, capital murder. They got them for murder for sure. Conspiracy to commit murder for all 3 of them. They got them for drug trafficking. They got them for manufacturing of a controlled substance. They threw the book at them. I think them boys had like 47 charges on them by the time they went to jail. They ain't never getting out. They're still in there. It just amazes me how people throw their lives away sometimes. If I'm gonna waste my time, I'm gonna waste it not catching fish. At least I'm hanging out with people that aren't gonna get me put in jail or trying to kill me. Well, most of them ain't trying to kill me anyway. There might be like 1.4% of them that's trying to kill me, but that's about it. It's not a large number. It's not a big enough number that I'm gonna worry about it. Now, if I had 50% of the people trying to kill me, I'd be a little bit more sketchy out here. I'd probably sit down on the bank with an AR-15 every time I went fishing. You see somebody walking toward me, I'm like, who are you? What do you want? Get back, I'll shoot you. Oh, Lord have mercy. Illegal dumping, $300 fine. They probably hit them with that too. I wouldn't doubt it. Littering. I don't think that added a whole lot of time on their sentence. I think they pretty much didn't worry about the littering with all the other stuff they had on. They had some pretty good solid charges, and they made them stick. 5 minutes. You got 5 minutes. Tell me what you're thinking about. Hit that rod, hit that rod. Grab that bait and take it off. Put that thing back where it comes from or so. Help me. These fish just don't seem like they're very excited about us being out here. Like I said, I've been in a pretty much a slump for a while, man. I ain't been catching no big. What the hell is that? There's something out on the water out there glowing, floating down the river. There's probably a buoy that's broke loose. I don't think y'all can see it. It's right out there. Something going on. It might be a boat. What is that? Hello? I don't know. There's something glowing out there. Let's see if I can turn the light on and see what the hell that is. I'm pretty sure it's a buoy. Can't tell. I don't think y'all can see it. It's out just past that rod tip right there. Right out there, glowing on the water, floating. Moving in the current. I can't tell what that is. Boy, it sure is lit up though. I wish y'all could see that. It's right out there. I don't know if y'all can see that glow on the water or not. It's reflecting the light. Let me do that. See if you can see it now. It should be right underneath that moon. No, wait, there. Is that it? No, that's rod tip. There it goes. It's going past the moon. See that little glowing dot? Right there on your right hand side of your screen. Right in the center, right hand side. See that glowing dot going down the river? I have no idea what the heck that is. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a buoy that's broke loose. Well, it sure is shining. I know that. We don't need no lights on. Where'd I have that sitting at? Right there. There we go. Oh man, I looked right into that light. Now I'm blind as a bat. I looked right at it. I can't see nothing but little spots now. Yeah, blue dot. Did y'all see it? It's floating down the river. I don't know. It's pretty big too. It looks small on the screen, but it's actually pretty big. It's just floating down the river. I almost struck my flashlight, lost it in the rocks. I'd be blind trying to get back up to the truck. minutes left, fish. 2 daggum minutes is all you got. We got to fish tomorrow, so I can't be sitting out here with you all night long, not biting. Can't do it. We did hook one and got it all the way to the bank. About a little 10 pounder. It 8, 9, 10 pounds, somewhere around that area. It wasn't no biggin. And I got video of that I'm going to put out. Just to prove to Chris and V that I had a fish on the rod and I left it there, trying to get up on their channel. And in the meantime, that fish had plenty of time to work that hook out of his mouth and got around a rock. And that ain't their fault. I should have just reeled the daggum thing in as soon as he bit the line. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. But you know, if reeled it in and nobody saw it, yeah, what difference does it make? I did have the camera rolling though. I'll show you. I'll get that video put up for you. I might just upload it on the before I leave here. It'll be up by the time I get home. We shall see. Oh boy, that got mosquitoes. All right, you guys, it is officially midnight. It is over. I don't know how well you can see me here if I turn this camera around. Let's find out. First off, I'm going to flip it this way. I'm going to change the angle on it, which means I can't read chat, but it don't matter because we're fixing to say bye anyway. Let's go to settings, camera, switch it to front. See if you can see me. Barely. I'm in the darkness. Let me get over this way a little bit. Maybe it'll be a little better. I don't know. There we go. Watch your rod go down now since I turned the camera around. All right, guys, we're going to get on out of here, pack up. I got to go home, jump in the shower, get something to eat, and go to bed. This is going to probably be close to 2 o'clock by the time I get all that done. Get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, have me a cup of coffee, and still be late for stand day. I'm going to try to make stand day tomorrow. We'll see if we get there, but it'll probably be halfway through by the time I get there. You know, I still got to set up, figure out what I'm doing tomorrow, and come up with some kind of an idea and a theme for a show, and do my thing right after stand day. But I'll get something worked out. I'll figure it out. But thank you guys for hanging out with me. Mary Mercer, how you doing, sis? I'm fixing to shut it down and go home. I'm tired. But thank you guys for hanging out with me, and I appreciate Chris and V trying to let me come up on their stream tonight, and it didn't work out. And I couldn't get up there, but they popped over on mine and spent some time with me anyway. I love them two to death. They're amazing people. They're part of the River Cats Tackle family, and I appreciate them far more than they'll ever know. But we're going to cut out of here, so here you go. You're my brothers, you're my sisters, you're my catfish family. God bless each and every one of you, because you know that Daddy Stone loves you. And I'll see you again real soon. Good night, everybody. God bless you, and I love you. Bye.